Hey, Miss Haines, it's me, James. You know, this is our video, so here we go. Oh, hey, Kevin.
Oh, hey,
Didn't see you there.
Nice
hat.
Thank you.
Working out?
Always.
So, Miss Haines, this isn't actually an interview. This is actually
a workout session.
how-to video. How to work out.
Yeah. Okay. First, back totally straight.
Got it.
All right. Bend your knees a little bit.
Okay.
Not that much, James.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. And then you just using your arms, you go like this. 1,
2.
2.
I can do that too, Miss Haines.
James. Well, actually, this is what we're doing the whole time. So everybody watching, you might as well just buckle in, okay?
Everyone, get out of your seats and get ready.
Oh yeah. Count some weights.
4, 5, 6. Okay, now let's do some push-ups.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay.
Down. 1. Down. 2. Down. 3. Check out those push-ups. Look at that. So, I guess this is what you'll be in for, Miss Haines, for the next...
Yeah, whole 30 minutes of it's like the Oprah show.
Now we're just kidding, Miss Haines. Get ready to get your mind blown with this awesome interview right
now.
Hello, thank you for joining me. Your name is?
My name is Salvatore Maroni Fonchetti. Is that how you say it? Salvatore Maroni Fonchetti. Right there? Okay. That is my name. Salvatore Maroni Fonchetti. It says here that your name is James Garcia.
Expert?
Expert James Garcia on all oppressed groups? All oppressed groups? Most. Okay. So it also says that you're an expert on Italian immigrants. Especially, okay.
Oh, hello, Salvatore. So you're an Italian immigrant, huh?
Yes, I am.
Why'd you come to America?
As I said, my name is Salvatore Maroni Franchetti. I came to America because back in Italia, things were not good. There was famine and bad soil and people getting broke. And so I say to my wife, okay, honey, I'm going to go to America so I can make money and send it back to you, and eventually I'll come back. But like lots of people, I didn't really plan on staying in America, but I eventually did. So I send the money back to my wife. Oh, she has enough money, so I bring her over to live with me. So, Mr. James Garcia, who oppressed Italians and why?
Well, Kevin, there's many groups, of course, that have oppressed the Italians. Some from our own country, the citizens that have lived here for hundreds of years, they started oppressing them because they were different. They didn't like them at all. They looked different. They didn't like how they acted. They were just really different than what they've known to life. Also, there was also the Irish. They were a big part. There was like a whole race war between them. They didn't like them for lots of reasons. One of them was the religion. Catholicism was a big part in the Irish culture. They loved God a lot, but the way that the Italians celebrated and did their religion was not as strict. It was less let loose. What did you go through to get here?
There was a boat ride. There was the whole, just not a good experience. You know, the boat ride was very cramped, very dirty, very sick. We had buckets instead of toilets, and people got sick all the time. How did they oppress the Italians?
Well, the Irish, they would start riots against them because they didn't like them that much. They would treat them differently. They wanted to be superior to them. The Padroni, they would make them work harsh jobs. They said, hey, I have an opportunity to do this. I'm going to oppress them as hard as I can. What helped you in your harsh time?
There was always family, always. And there was I padroni, or as you say in English, the padrones. They were our bosses. They employed us for manual labors, and they gave us a place to sleep. That was most important. But eventually we kind of caught on that the padroni were conning us. They would take money from us, and they would take money from us, they get rich, and we would have to live in bad circumstances.
What type of place did the padroni make you live in?
We were forced to live in slums. You know, we had very sick, lots of crime, very dirty, very crowded, and there was really no police force, so people could do whatever they want.
Where did the group's power come from?
The power came from different, it depends, because the Americans said that, oh, we've lived here longer than all you guys, we're natives, you better live here like an American, or else you're not one of us. The Irish, they lived there a couple of years before the Italians. They said, oh, well, you know, we're a small group too, we're nothing, so might as well oppress someone who's less than us. And the padroni, they say, oh, well, I have an opportunity. I'm gonna oppress these guys because they may be from my homeland, but I really can make fools out of them. What was most of your work?
Most of my work was with my hands. It was manual labor. The padroni say, okay, go build bridge, and I go build the bridge. You know, we would work on the street, build bridges, build buildings, and clean up the streets. It was not very good paying job. Very much little job.
How did they use circumstances to oppress the Italians?
Well, they had what they had, so whatever they had, they made it harsh for them. Like the living spaces for the padroni that they gave them, it was very harsh, compacted, like a garbage pit, not very much a home for them to live in. Did you socialize with other immigrant groups?
I wanted to socialize with other immigrants, but when I say "¿Cómo está?", you know, how are you doing? They say, no, stay away from us. You are not German. You are not French. You are Italian. They say, stay away from us. And so when we tried to socialize, it got violent. So we tried not to.
How did the oppressors justify themselves?
They said, hey, it's okay. I'm cool. Especially the Irish. They're big believer in God. They wanted to change the Italians. They said, God wants me to do this. I'm gonna teach them a lesson.
Was violence used?
All the time. How did your beliefs clash with others?
There was the whole belief about Catholicism. You know, we would go, and people that had stricter Catholicism beliefs than us, they would go to church every day, every Sunday, and they say, you have to go to church every Sunday if you want to get into heaven. I say, no, you have to follow Jesus, and I can go to church whenever I want. So that was one of the reasons. The other reason was about family. You know, Italia, you have big family, little friends, and in America, you have little family, big friends, and they did not like that.
How were Italian lives changed by the oppression?
Many lives were lost. A lot of Italian lives were lost. They're caught in the violence. In the living spaces, it wasn't what they were used to at home. If they were, let's say they were rich in Italy, then if they came to America, they could be like very poor, and it's not what they're used to, and they wouldn't have high expectations. There were rumors that said America's roads are paved with gold and silver, but they had high expectations, but it just turned out it was a letdown for them.
Mm-hmm.
How did America accept you?
They did not accept us well. We were stereotyped. People on the street, children on the street would laugh at us when they saw us working, and I did not like that. They did not accept us very well at all.
Did the Italians ever resist?
They resisted very much. They said, I'm gonna be my own person. Don't tell me what to do, and I will just leave you alone. Just leave me alone, and that's how it is. What were you stereotyped as?
We were stereotyped as bumbling, uneducated apes. We were called bumbling because we did not socialize with other immigrant groups because we did not understand them, and so they said, hey, you're bumbling because you can't do anything right. We were called uneducated because we did not go to American schools, and because we did not go to American schools, They said that we were uneducated. It's not that we didn't want to go to American schools, we just couldn't afford it. And we were called apes because we got manual labor jobs that paid almost close to nothing.
How did the oppressors handle resistance?
They said, well, what are you doing? I am oppressing you. You can't resist because I've done so much, and now I'm not going to let you get in the way of what I'm doing. So I will oppress harder so you will feel the pain.
Who made strides to help you?
Who made strides? They were Bassoni. They were fellow Italians who employed us in good jobs. They were like the padroni, except they did not con us in the end. And then there were some Americans wanted to help us, but we did not really give them a lot of room because of all that had happened to us. And then there were, of course, the nuns, God's chosen women. And there was one nun in particular, Francesca Carabrini. She made strides to help us, and that was pretty much everyone that helped us. It wasn't a whole lot.
What stereotypes did the oppressors bring about?
The oppressors called the Italians many different things, like an ape. That was a common one. They said, you're an ape, like because they had different jobs, very bad jobs that were unsanitary, and apes are unsanitary. So they were called stupid. They were called not intellectual. They were low intellectual level.
Is there anything you'd like to say in conclusion?
Conclusion: America is worth it once you're past everything that comes before it. The boat ride, the discrimination, the oppression, the stereotyping. Once you're old and gray like me, then it's okay. Then America is good to you.
So how would you sum up all of this how would you sum up the oppression of the Italian immigrants?
The Italian immigrants during that time period in the early 1900s, they went through so much, and I think that what they did was very strong, and they went through a whole wall of this violence, and I think that it was worth it, so they could prove themselves to America that they're somebody. They proved to be somebody.
Alright, well that's all I have to say.
Grazie.
Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Mr. James Garcia.
Thank you, Kevin.